being played in so many Leinster finals. But let me just take you back to give people a flavour of what it's like to win Leinster, which Galway and Wexford are going to be seeking to do today. Your own thoughts on that first win?
Yeah, I think in life in general, there's nothing like your first experience of doing something. And for me, it was back in the 90s, Mike. It's a long time ago, but we played awfully here in the Leinster final, and it was a massive occasion for myself and for the team as well.
Because Kilkenny hadn't been going that well up to that period.
No, we hadn't. We obviously lost the All-Ireland the year previously against Offaly, so it was a massive. But for a new player like myself, it was a whole new experience. You know, the build-up to the parade, everything is kind of new, and it's very similar for the Wexford players today. You know, none of them have experienced this Leinster final before. And for me, it was that some of my older colleagues actually took me aside before the match and said, "Look, take it easy. First 20 minutes, just keep it very, very simple, and ease yourself into the game." And that's what it did. And you know, it was a brilliant. I ended up getting a goal actually in the second half. DJ Carey threw me a hand pass for about 40 yards, and it was just it was something that I look back and it's a special moment in my career, you know. As
I have no doubt the Galway and the Wexford players will do, and of course, Gerald Nan, you have been through that, not in Leinster, of course, but with Clare, and that kind of experience, I suppose, or journey, if you like, that Wexford are hoping to go on now, of making that breakthrough.
Yeah, and you know, what Henry says there, when you do make the breakthrough, the feeling, I suppose the first is of relief that you have done it, but of absolute elation. Especially the longer the gap is, of course, the greater the elation is, you know. And you know, it is a difficult task for Wexford today. There's no doubt about that on a number of fronts. But if you take when Clare made the breakthrough, it was an awful long time since that. But they had played in 2 Munster finals. The core of the team had played in the 2 previous Munster finals, you know, and they'd played in Thurles. Now, Wexford are coming here today, not having played in Croke Park. And Ken, we were just looking out at the field there today, and the difference between here, we'll say, and Wexford Park or Nolan Park, in size and in pace, is absolutely massive. So a big challenge facing them, but they have the right man to guide them.
Size, pace and conditions, the pitch is like a carpet out there. Now, I know we say this so often about Croke Park, but it's actually unreal.
Yeah, it is, and it's so different to any other place you play. You know, anyone that has played here, it's just so different. And it's adjusting to that for the Wexford players, that they're not overawed, first of all, when they come out there, on your first time playing there. Very easy for that to happen. But adjusting to the pace of the field, it's wider. It's maybe a bit longer than Nolan Park, definitely way faster than Wexford Park. So a big adjustment there for them, so a huge challenge. Galway have been here for the last 2 years, 2 Leinster finals. They've been here in All Ireland, so they're well used to this place, so they have an advantage on that count. But with Davy in charge, he'll have thought of all that, he'll have covered all that, advised them on all that.
But as well as that, for the players, like you even see it outside as we were coming in, the Wexford supporter up here in such numbers. There's such momentum, there is a buzz, and they seem to be playing with no inhibitions, you know. They're up in Division 1, they bet Kilkenny, they're in the Leinster final, so it can be an added bonus for them to go out and just totally express themselves.
That's actually great to see. We haven't, of course, seen it, Ken, for a couple of years here with Wexford. I live on the Dublin-Wicklow border, so all the Wexford supporters come that way. And when I was leaving the house this morning at 11 o'clock, there were droves of them going past.
Yeah, look, I think it's a massive day for them, but I think the Kilkenny game in Wexford Park was huge. That game has been talked about for a good few months, so the pressure that day was fairly high, and they performed. So I don't think that will affect them maybe today. As Gerard said, look, it's a different pitch in Croke Park. Henry was so used to it. Probably took even the Wolver team I played on 3 or 4 times to really produce our level of performance out there. But I think that day showed that there's a mentality in this Wexford team that's a bit different than maybe the last few years. And Davey, look, he gets things right in finals. Probably took him a while to really get the hang of gearing a team up for a final. But his record is very good. And I'd say the Wexford lads can't wait to get out there, and the support they have is massive, absolutely massive.
Well, the support coming in, there's a right character across the road there in Clonliffe where you park, you know, coming in, he says, Gerard, the Wexicans are here today, you know. And like, isn't it a great name for Wexford, like, you know, because with the Mexicans, you know, if you look at the Mexicans with their sombreros and bandanas and their enthusiasm and their optimism, and, you know, and the life they bring, like Wexford are like that. They're out there in all their colour. When you look here now, you see nothing. But outside, the place is strong with Wexford people.
That's what you want.
I'd say if they win the Leinster title today, there'll be a fair few Wexicans around this evening.
I might go home
now, as we alluded to here, by the way, the man, of course, given so much of the credit for Wexford's recent hurling revival is their manager, Davy Fitzgerald. Marty Morrissey caught up with his fellow countymen recently to discuss life so far in the sunny southeast.
After the Galway game last year, that I needed a change from Clare myself. I think the team will tell you that. I was actually content enough to go. I was, So the break didn't last too long, though.
No. And just let me deal with Clare. Do you miss Clare?
Of course I do. There's one or two bits of it I don't miss. Naturally, it was tough enough the last year or two, which I thought was totally unwarranted.
The criticism?
It was, yeah. Some of it was over the top, but I know where that came from. I suppose I did take it a lot more personal with Clare, because I don't feel I've anything to prove to anyone as regards management.
So, you decided to come to Wexford. What did you find?
I knew after the first night that they were mad for it, that if you can get a team that are going to give you 110% and will buy into everything you ask them, you have a chance, no matter how bad it is. But the day they start thinking that they know more or that the team knows more, then you know in the management circles you're in trouble. You've got to get out of town. We had a lot of things that I wanted to try and change when I came into them, and I did, but they work extremely hard, so they do. The hunger here to just get to the top table is massive. That enthusiasm actually lifted me no end as well.
Davy Fitzgerald has come on. Niall O'Mara told him to move off. Well, he's absolutely incensed.
Did you find the suspension difficult to deal with?
Listen, no, I deserve to be suspended, 100%. I could have been, I thought, done for encroachment onto the field. I didn't go look to go near any Tipperary player. I think you'll see that I didn't. You have to accept your medicine sometimes. I prefer not to have got it, but it is what it is, and hopefully it won't happen again. You can never say never, but hopefully it won't.
What about the game against Kilkenny in that memorable evening in Wexford Park?
I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed the game. That was a manly game. There was a lot of hits. Both teams had given every single thing they had there.
But there it is! Fergal Horgan blows the whistle, and Wexford have beaten Kilkenny in the Leinster Championship for the first time since 2004.
It was a fantastic occasion. I just remember seeing the Wexford supporters afterwards, and you'd wonder why you get involved in hurling. That's why. As I said, I didn't envisage us making the progress we made, and there will come a lull. It might be today. I don't know what the story is, but I do know over the next few years, this team, if they stay working hard, will be there or thereabouts, and that's all you can ask for.
Well, you've been there. You've been All-Ireland finals, won All-Ireland finals, player-manager, Munster finals. How do you feel about Sunday's Leinster final?
It's probably the only
that's true.
one I haven't been involved in before is the Leinster hurling final, and I'm actually so excited about it that I am, and we know what we're up against, and we will be very novice compared to what they have gone through. In saying that, do I think we have a chance? Of course you have a chance, but I think it's down to the start. I think the first 20-25 minutes is everything. If we can hang in there for that, we'll have a chance. But they're the type of team, they'll open you up very rapid, Their forwards are nippy and lively and fast. Their backs are very strong and solid. Like, physically, they're one of the strongest teams that's out there, They are the farm team. But when you're in opposition, you look forward to something like that, as having a go at the best team that's out there. Listen, I'm enjoying it. I'll keep trying to do my best for the lads, but 99% of the team talks will be the same as I'm talking to, They might need every now and again
An odd Davy Fitz special.
An odd special, but I want the lads to go out. It's their day. I want them to enjoy it. I want them to express themselves, and I want them more or less give other teams hope that haven't got to finals in a long time, and that, listen, you can get there. I think that's very important. But let's keep it going and see where it brings us. I don't know. For them lads that have worked so hard, I want this to be a good day for them.
Manager, of course, but today Davy Fitz is hoping to add another milestone to the list. Gerard Gnan, obviously. You know what Davy Fitz brings to a dressing room. And I guess the outside perception that everybody has, that it's fire and brimstone and all that. And I'm sure there's a bit of that about it as well. What's he doing to Wexford?
Well, you see, that's the thing about it, Michael. I was with Davy for 5 or 6 years when he was the goalie for Clare. I'd have never seen this coming, because he was, believe it or not, he was very quiet in the dressing room. You had a lot of very strong characters in that dressing room.
Yeah.
Davy was a man who kept to himself and did his own job, and he trained himself. Now, he was thoroughly professional. And when the day came, he had a nice, cool temperament. Now, he'd run out onto the field and belt the crossbar, and all that kind of people thought he was crazy, But he was ice cool. But the one word I'd associate him is fearless. Davy is fearless in that he has no regard for his own safety, facing a ball or anything when he was playing. He was totally fearless. So when he became a manager, he has brought organised, he has really studied it. He has dedicated his life to this. He has really studied it. But above all, he has his own way of playing, and he believes 100% in that way. That everybody else is wrong, nobody else knows what he's doing. He believes firmly in that. And he instills that belief then in the players that he's in charge of. And they buy into it. He is inspirational in the way he can get people to buy into it. And people that buy into what he does, they would do anything for him. So I suppose that's the great thing about him, that he has that inspirational quality and he has so many willing followers, which is the real sign of a leader.
It is, and Ken, they are buying into it, because talking to people from Wexford, and particularly they're saying to me that the younger players love what Davy's doing with them at the moment. And it is that kind of thing. As long as they're on a journey, it'll work. And it's working at the moment.
Yeah, no, I don't remember his team talks as calm as that. But no, I think he's after developing as a manager over the years. When he came to Waterford first, it was his first step into senior management. It's a massive step up.
Yeah.
But look, Wexford are starving for success. It's 13 years since they won the Leinster Championship. And these young lads see Davy coming down, who's after winning the league, after winning All-Ireland with Clare, and won the championship with us. So he has a proven track record. And they see this and jumped on it. And you'd probably feel a small bit sorry for Liam Dunn, who put a massive effort in for 4 or 5 years, got to 2 quarter-finals as well. But momentum is huge, and momentum in hurling is massive. And with a county like Waterford or Wexford, if the ball gets rolling and things start happening, it could take off. And it's great to see him so relaxed and really enjoying the hurling. He seems to be really happy and a perfect fit for Wexford at the moment. And I'd say he can't wait for the lads getting on that pitch.
That's the feeling I get about it. He is a perfect
for
fit.
the younger players, Michael, you can understand. We're looking, like watching the Sunday game, looking at Davy winning All-Irelands, looking at him leading Clare to an All-Ireland. For a younger player, Davy, he is big profile in the hurling world.
Of course.
And next thing he's in, and Davy is telling you, you're doing great, you're improving, you're going to make this team. It does lift you.
You believe.
You absolutely believe. And he has got them all totally bought in, as Gerard said, you know.
That's still mad about him.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Because it is his life. So he's putting everything, he's talking to those players during the day, he's making sure they're feeling well outside of hurling. And I think if you're good outside of hurling, you're performing the field as well.
There is a contrast, of course, to the Galway manager, also an excellent manager. Micheál Donoghue, very calm, very sort of concise about the way he goes about things. No fire and brimstone there, but he's doing a good job at Galway.
Absolutely. I think, it's been a perfect fit. Galway are at a different stage than Wexford are. Wexford are the low ebb, and they have to get up here. Galway are up here, but they have to take that small little step at the end to get over the line. I think, you know, he's doing the word you hear out of them is consistency. Out of Wexford, it's all enthusiasm, motivation, fly around the place. It's consistency, and that's what he's building into him. And he's a consistent team, they're playing a consistent style, and they're going about it. It's just another game. It's another game to get to that final game. And I think he's done a great job in that as well.
And he has got very demanding on the sideline. You know, when he started first, he was kind of staying back. But now, if you saw in the league final, the games up to now, he is demanding, you know, that they have a way of playing, and he wants them to win. That's it. So there is a bit of steel in that velvet glove. There is good steel.
And
in him as well.
with Davy, we all love to see the cameras and flying around the place. But for Galway, I think they're at a different stage, and they just need Michael to get him over the line. So he's not great television, but like, you know, it's not about that. It's about his team delivering.
It's about the cup.
Yes.
Okay, for the moment then, we are going to give our hurling guests a little bit of a break, I suppose.
Thank you very much, Michael. In 16 days' time, he'll be celebrating his 35th birthday, but he's playing more like an energetic 19-year-old. It's Galway goalkeeper Colm Callanan from Kinvara. It's a very strong inner line of defence with Adrian Toohey and John Hanbury in the corners. The main man is Turlough Moore's Dahi Burke, who once again this season has proven why he won an All-Star last year. A strong but fast-moving half backline is crucial, and Galway have 3 hurlers who tick all those requirements. Pádraig Mannion, Gerard McInerney and Aidan Hart have been impressive so far in 2017. Loughrea's Johnny Cohen is playing with freedom since being moved to centre field, where his partnership with Galway captain David Burke is one of the reasons why Galway won the Alliance League in April. When you get to a Leinster final, then expectations rise and more focus will centre on Joe Canning's performance. His wingmen today will be Niall Burke and Joseph Cooney. The two Connors, Whelan and Cooney, will ask serious questions of the Wexford full back line, but they'll be joined by the inner line by Jason Flynn, who's a late replacement for the injured Cathal Mannion. The Wexford goalkeeper is Mark Fanning, who's from Glen Barntown. He's been first choice between the posts and Slaney side for the last 4 seasons. The Wexford full back line could come under pressure this afternoon. Willie Devereux, Liam Ryan and James Breen are solid, but Galway forwards will probably be their biggest test this year. Simon Donoghue and Dermot O'Keefe are stylish hurlers and fully support and complement the powerful presence of Wexford captain Matthew O'Hanlon at number 6. Sean Murphy plays a crucial role for his manager Davy Fitzgerald as a sweeper. So the good news is that he plays despite an injury scare. Aidan Nolan will wear the number 9 jersey. The performance of Lee Chin was awesome against Kilkenny, but can he reproduce it again? Jack O'Connor and Conor MacDonald complete a half-forward line of real potential. The Wexford full forward line is a tremendous mixture of good wrists and slick scoring know-how. So far in 2 championship games, Paul Morris, Jack Guiney and Harry Keogh have scored 2-11 between them. The Leinster final, the throw-in is 4 o'clock. Back to Michael.
It certainly is. Marty has been taking us, Henry, through both of the teams, but there are 3 players that you want to have a look at. 3 Wexford players that you think, well, they're going to have a key role today.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to, and for Wexford to win, they're going to need to score enough, and obviously they play the sweeper system, so they're going to need players that are going to win their own ball, win primary possession. And first one I picked out was Jack Guiney, edge of the square. He's only back on the team this year. He's had his troubles with Liam Dunn. He played well against Kilkenny. He actually got better as the game went on. Here we see him win a high ball against a couple of Kilkenny defenders. And he's a very intelligent hurler as well, very risky hurler, setting up a score and needed when they needed. Next man is Conor MacDonald. We've known about him for a few years now, again against Kilkenny here in the league. Look at this for wrists and touch and swivel and over the bar. And that's what Wexford are going to need to do. Again against Kilkenny in the championship, high ball down, up he goes, forest the players down and straight over the bar. You're going to need those players, and I suppose the last man, and most importantly, is their talisman, Lee Chin. He was unbelievable against Kilkenny in the last day. Long range free taken. They're going to need every opportunity, every free they get from long range, they're going to need to score. And there's a couple of wow moments they just experience in games. And I was down in Wexford Park and I went, wow, when this happened. Look at the height he got up. Yeah. Unbelievable catch. It was just magnificent. And you look for leadership as well. It's something I'm always on about. Kilkenny just got a goal. Colin Fennelly got a goal. Came down the other end of the field. He grabbed it over the bar. He is their leader. There was a big roar when his name went up outside. They need those 3 players. As I said, they'll play with a sweeper. So offensively, you're going to need players that are going to win their own ball. There's going to be more Galway lads around them. But if they can do it, if those 3 players can perform, Wexford will have a good chance today.
They will. It's interesting that you're talking about leaders, Ken, because this is a thing, I suppose, that Galway people would look at the team and say, you know, have they the men out there to lead them?
Well, that's the big question for any team, and I suppose I got a bit of criticism of Waterford the last day after the Cork game, and I said we lack leaders in the second half. In a lot of numbers, but when they are attacked, they're all attacking together, and that takes massive work rate and massive fitness, and they seem to have that this year. It takes an unbelievable amount of commitment as well. I think there's a point coming up here from Daithí Burke, full back line coming out, Padraig Mannion right half back, a crossfield pass which wouldn't be too dissimilar. Henry received off Tommy Bennett for years. I think it takes 13-14 seconds for Niall Burke to get a score, and that avoids any congestion in the middle of the pitch. Look, that's direct hurling. It mixes things up. It gets defenders thinking the whole time. And here I think it maybe sums up the new way Galway are thinking, or the way they're going at teams. 9 times out of 10, Joe was tapping that ball over the bar, but he sniffed a goal, a brilliant pass across. Now, you do them balls in training. You don't often do them in championship games. But Joe saw the goal. Now, unlucky Jason Flynn. But it shows the killer instinct that Galway are probably getting at the moment, that are going for these teams and going for the attack, you know.
I suppose, Ger, naturally enough, going into a match like this, we're saying nice things about both teams as we look forward to it. But you just have a question mark about Wexford?
Well, I have, because Sean Murphy is still adjusting to life as a sweeper, you know, or as a free man. Now, you'll see him here. He goes too soon. He expects James Reid to get the ball. He doesn't. He should be minding the house.
Yes.
And now the run for John McGrath straight through to goal, and the ball is in the back of the net. Now, look at here, Jack O'Connor covering back. Instead of going through the centre, he should have gone for John McGrath, because, you know, a forward doesn't have the same instinct for defences as a backman would have. Now, look at here. Look at Sean Murphy, you know, I mean, he's crazy. He should get between the goalie and Colin Findlay, because there was a mismatch between himself and Willie Devereux. So he hasn't adjusted to that yet. Now, look at here, with the Wexford defence, 3-2, there should be no danger. The thing is, you stand up, you hold your hurley up, and you hold the man up, not grab him. Now, this is the worst of all now. These are big weaknesses in the defence, and they must be remedied by today. When Colin Findlay gets around, Willie Devereux is there, Sean Murphy is there, neither of them come out to attack him. He stands up and gets full power and buries it in the net. And finally, look at this. You know what I mean? A full forward shouldn't be able to throw the full back around like a rag doll and get straight through. Murphy's too far out and gets caught. So when Davy's looking at this, I think the things he'll look at is the positioning of Sean Murphy. You know, it's only his first year doing it. He's only done it in 3 or 4 games. It's going to take time. And he's not really a sweeper in the sense of, we'll say, Ty de Borca, standing in front of a 3-man full back line. So there's a big adjustment there. And I think the other thing that he'll have his mind in, are they getting 2 men, or men, especially backmen, forward too quickly? It's all right to have backs scoring 3 points, but I mean, the back's job is to stop the score. So I think that if they have worked on those, then you know that defence will be more secure. If not, they're in danger.
Okay, the teams are in the parade, as we can see here, so this is the time we normally ask you guys to nail your colours to the mark. Henry, who's going to win it?
Well, first of all, I think it's a great occasion. It's great to see a Leinster final with such a crowd. We're after watching the football match and we knew the result from there. I hope Wexford perform like they did. I hope they put it up to. But for me, Galway are a team on a mission this year, and I think Gerard's just pointed they have weaknesses. Galway can get a couple of goals today, and I think they'll win it.
Ken, see it the same?
Yeah, like Henry, it's great to be here. It's a great occasion. It's something different. For years, look, we were probably in no result in Leinster final when Kenny were playing at times. But look, I think, as Henry said, I think Galway are on a mission this year. Some of their top players are playing to the top level. It's the way that they're big men around the pitch, all can hurl, all can move the ball, and their first touch is top class. I think Wexford will put it up to him, but I think Galway will pull through.
And Joe briefly.
Well, I suppose when you just look at them going around the field there, you see the massive size of both teams. 2 huge physical teams, great atmosphere here. Galway have the experience. They also have the forwards, I think, to finish it. So I think it's unanimous. I think we'd all favour Galway.
Unanimous here in the studio, but Donald O'Grady joins us pitchside as well here at Croke Park. Let's see what he has to think.
Well, I'm just looking at 3 main things really, Michael. The first thing is Galway are going to have a spare man in defence, so it's going to be interesting to see for their puck outs. Will Colm Cannon go short and will they walk the ball through the lines, or will he go direct to Joseph Cooney and to Niall Burke, 2 big men on the wings? The second thing, of course, is Joe Canning was allowed a bit of freedom of the park against Dublin and against Tip in the league final, but I think James Green will probably pick him up and stay with him, and Simon Donoghue drop back into the corner. The other question mark, of course, is Galway. Carl Manning isn't playing today, played very well for them in the previous rounds. Now they have Jason Flint to bring in, who's a goal scorer, and I think Galway will look to probably get on the score sheet early, maybe, you know, make things uncomfortable for the Wexford full back line, because there was goals there in the previous matches. And of course then the last thing is what's going to happen in midfield. Will Lee Chin be picked up by Johnny Cohen, or will David Burke pick him up, or will they just play a sort of a loose, liberated type of 2 versus 2 in the middle? These are the question marks that I'd like to see answered, and I think we're going to see a great game, great atmosphere down here pitchside, and 2 big teams, and I'm looking forward to the game.
So here we are in Croke Park